Hello lovelies, my name is Tereena. Welcome to Total Body Yoga. We're going to start in a child's pose at the back of the mat today. So bring those toes together, bring the knees as wide as the mat, rest the chest down towards the floor. Starting off with a little bit of centering today. So bringing your attention inwards. Try to slowly close the boundaries of where your thoughts are at the moment. So maybe start by forgetting about anything that's not within the room that you're in at the moment. Imagine that boundary there. There's a physical boundary outlining the room. And then slowly see that boundary close in until eventually it's half of the room. And then maybe it reaches the corners of your mat. Trying to maintain your focus on anything that's within the corners of the mat. Anything outside of your mat at the moment does not contribute anything to your practice. So if any thoughts pop up, see if you can allow them to drift away. And if you haven't already, shifting your attention to your breath, trying to make that breath nice and deep. Paying extra attention to breathing into the sides and the back. Child's pose is slightly restrictive on the front torso. So think about really expanding all sides of the lungs. 2 more breaths. Really nice. Eventually slowly come up with the torso, creating space so you can walk the hands over towards the left hand side. Maybe the right hand pops on top of the left. Stretching out the right side of the body, keep the right sit bone pulling towards the right heel. And again, coming up with a torso so you can create space for those hands to walk around through center all the way to the opposite side. Maybe left hand meets the right. Rest the head down. And again, coming up with a torso slightly so you can bring yourself back to center, and then eventually rolling yourself forward so you're laying on the belly flat on your mat. Bring the hands to either side of the chest, and then inhale, lift the chest up for a cobra. Exhale, fold down. 3 more. Inhale and lifting yourself up. Exhale, lower. 2 more. This doesn't have to be deep back bends, just bringing a little bit of movement to the spine. Last one. Exhale, lower. And then this time, just push yourself back up to a kneeling position, making your way to a tabletop. So the hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take that inhale, drop the belly down, bring your gaze upwards. Exhale, push the floor away from you with the hands so you can dome the upper back. 3 more. Inhale, drop the belly, chest comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, tuck the belly button back towards the spine. Inhale, arch in the back. Exhale, separate those shoulder blades. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Really nice. Bring the spine back to neutral, tuck those toes under, lift the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. It's our first one for today's practice, so feel free to keep those knees bent, or you can pedal out the feet, take any other movement you like to take to help warm up in your downward facing dog. Until you eventually start to find some stillness in your down dog if you were moving around. And slowly starting to walk those feet towards the top of the mat. Take as long as you need, keep the knees as bent as you need. Once you have arrived, grab hold of each elbow, have a little sway from side to side in your ragdoll. Releasing the hands down towards the floor, slowly start to roll up through the spine, stacking vertebrae by vertebrae, until you've found a Tadasana at the top of your mat. You have the choice of Tadasana, so either toes touching heels slightly apart, or your feet will be hip distance apart. We'll be running through some sun salutations and vinyasas to start with, and this is the position you want to try to find every time you return back to a Tadasana. Let's jump in, take an inhale, reach those hands up overhead, your gaze follows. Exhale, fold the body forward for a forward fold. Inhale, lift in the chest, see if you can find a flat back. Before exhaling, plant the hands down, step back, lower yourself down. Take an inhale, lift the chest, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over, downward facing dog. Hold here for 5 breaths. Inhaling. And exhale. Really nice. Maybe take a scan through the body. Set yourself up nice and strong for your downward facing dog. Take one last breath. On your next inhale, bend those knees, look towards the top of the mat, hop, step or jump forward to meet the hands, chest is lifted. As you exhale, fold. Inhale and sweep those hands up overhead. Exhale, close through heart center. One more like that. Inhale and reach those hands up. Exhale, fold the body forward. Uttanasana. Take an inhale, lift the chest, flat back. Exhale and plant those hands, hop, step or jump back through the vinyasa of your choice. Inhale and upward facing. Exhale, roll over, downward facing dog. Hold here for 5 breaths, reaching heels down towards the mat. See if you can take the kink out of the knees a little bit more in this downward facing dog. Remembering as we come through our vinyasas today, you can place the knees down before lowering yourself down towards the ground. You do not have to do your full chaturanga. Or you can lower yourself all the way to the ground if you're still trying to build up the strength in the arms. Taking one last breath here in your down dog. Inhale, bend those knees, look towards the top of the mat, hop, step or jump forward, chest is lifted. Exhale, fold. Taking that inhale, sweep those hands up overhead and closing through heart center. We're going to take the vinyasa the same here. So inhale, reach the hands up, exhale and fold over. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, plant the hands, hop, step or jump back through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing. Exhale, roll over, down dog. Now instead of holding, take an inhale, reach the right foot up and back behind you. As you exhale, open up that hip. So the right heel is aiming to come towards the left glute. Point that knee up towards the ceiling. And then releasing that foot back down to the mat. Let's go left side. Inhale, reach that foot up before exhaling, opening up the hip. Then closing back down. Take an inhale, bend the knees, make your way to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, reach the hands up overhead. See if you can relax those shoulders. Exhaling, close through heart center. Moving on to a modified sun B. Take an inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms up overhead, finding your chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, lift your chest, flat back. As you exhale, fold back over, step the right foot to the back of the mat, drop the knee down, untouch the toes, reach the hands behind the head. Push yourself back and forward 5 times in the hip. So you're sinking into the hips every time you come forward. Take one more. And then release the hands down to frame that front foot. Step it back, lower yourself through a vinyasa, hug the elbows in. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, roll over, downward facing dog. Bringing the right foot to the top of the mat, drop the back knee down to the floor, untuck the toes. Let's take those back and forths again. So push yourself back, sinking back into the hips. 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Really nice. Frame that front foot, tuck the back toe under and step it to meet the right at the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up, bend the knees for your chair pose. Let's dive straight back in. Exhale, fold over. Take an inhale, lift the chest flat back. As you exhale, fold the body forward, step the right foot to the back of the mat, keep the knee lifted. This time, hands come behind the head again. Let's take pulses, so drop the right knee down to the floor and extend back up. For 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really nice. Frame that front foot, step the left foot to the back of the mat, lower yourself down through a vinyasa. Inhale, open your chest, up dog. Exhale, roll over, downward facing dog. Bring the right foot towards the top of the mat in between the hands. Let's go left side, so keep that knee lifted, hands come behind the head. Dropping the back knee down towards the floor. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Frame the front foot, step the left to meet the right at the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, bend those knees, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold the body back over for an Uttanasana forward fold. If the feet aren't hip distance apart, shuffle them so that they're hip distance apart. Taking your 2-piece fingers, grab hold of the 2 big toes. Take an inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, fold the body forward for your Padangusthasana. Keep pulling yourself forward, elbows drop out to the sides of the room, and try to keep the weight towards the front of the feet rather than sinking them back in towards the heels. Really nice. Releasing the torso slightly, release the toes, and then create space underneath the feet so you can slide the palms of the hands underneath the soles of the feet. Try to tickle the wrist with the toes. Again, take an inhale, lift your chest, try to find a flat back before exhaling, folding over the legs. Releasing the hands from underneath, come into a flat back. And then exhale, plant those hands, step back, go through a vinyasa. It's the option to put those knees down. Making your way to a downward facing dog. On your next inhale, reach the right foot up and back behind you. As you exhale, squeeze it towards the chest, hold it here for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Place it in between the hands at the top of the mat. Sweep those arms around, ground the back foot down, making your way to a warrior 2. Get nice and deep in that front leg for me. Gaze comes over the right hand. Keep pressing into the outside edge of that back foot, making sure the back hand is in line with the front. Inhale, straighten up that front leg, reach as far forward as you can before releasing that hand down towards the shin, or maybe the fingertips can touch the floor. Left hand reaches up towards the ceiling. Keep pulling yourself forward with the crown of the head. A little bit of core work now. Bring the right hand out in front of you, left hand comes over. Imagine you're holding a beach ball for 3, for 2, and 1. Really nice. Frame that front foot, bend into the front leg, place the left hand right next to the right foot, right hand comes up towards the ceiling. Trying to keep that back leg as straight as you can, so push through that heel, take the kink out of the knee for me. 1 more breath here. Bringing the right hand down so you can frame the front foot, step back, lower yourself on your exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Let's go left side. Take an inhale, reach the left foot up and back behind you. Exhale, bring the knee in towards the chest. Hold here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place the foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. Ground the back foot down. Sweep those arms around for your warrior 2. Again, trying to get nice and strong in those hands. Imagine someone's pulling you in 2 different directions, pressing into that back foot. Take an inhale, straighten up that front leg, reach as far forward as you can with the left hand before releasing the left hand down towards the shin, or maybe just touching the floor with the fingertips. Right hand up towards the ceiling, gaze comes to that top arm. Unless it's really uncomfortable, you can just have the gaze out in front of you. Let's take that core exercise, bring the left hand out in front of you, reach the right hand up and over, grab that beach ball for 3, for 2, and 1. Framing the front foot, bending into the left leg, place the hand in line with the foot, reach the left hand up towards the ceiling. Keeping that back leg nice and engaged, squeeze the inner thighs. Framing that front foot and just stepping back to a downward facing dog this time. Taking a moment here to reset the breath. Reset your focus. And bend those knees and just gently cross them one at a time so you can find your sit bone, so you eventually roll over those shins. Keeping the soles of the feet flat on the floor, reach the hands out in front of you, slowly roll down to the mat for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend the left leg long down the mat. Hug the right leg into the body. Feel free to take some circles with the ankles. Eventually, you're going to bring that left leg in towards the body. Pop the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Let's take our figure 4. Option to grab hold of the left thigh and pull that leg closer towards the chest. Try to keep the right foot flexed for me, and that knee wants to continuously push away from the body to open up that right hip. Last breath. Then releasing that foot down, take your 2-piece fingers, grab hold of the right big toe, extend the heel away from you. Option to slide that left foot down your mat. The aim here is to push the heel away of the right foot rather than trying to bring that foot closer to you. And then eventually open the right leg out towards the side as much as you can. It's okay if the leg is bent. Keep that left hip grounded into the mat. And eventually bringing that leg back into center, extend it long down your mat. Let's go left side, hug that left leg into the body. And eventually finding that figure 4 position on the left. And eventually coming out of this pose. Taking your 2-piece fingers, grab hold of the left big toe, push that heel away from you. Option to slide the right foot down the mat, extending the leg. Again, the leg does not have to be straight, just pushing as far away as you can. And you'll slowly start to take the kink out of that knee. Eventually opening that leg out towards the side, again grounding the right hip towards the mat as much as you can. Last breath. Bring that leg back into center. Feel free to give it a gentle squeeze. Before holding both legs at the back of the thighs, take a few rocks up and down until you find yourself in a seated position. As you come up, find an elbow pose. You have options, so you can grab hold of the thighs, just have the toes gently resting on the floor. You can lift them up slightly, maybe bring the shins parallel, you can release the hands, or maybe extend the feet fully for your full boat. Hold for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees out to the side, grab hold of the feet or the ankle, keep pressing the arms into the legs, pull the chest forward, try to keep a nice flat back here. Then slightly coming up with the torso, let's find our boat pose again, taking the same variation you just took. Once we're there, holding for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Again, bring the soles of the feet together, knees drop nice and wide. This time you can round the spine as much as you want to, bringing the forehead towards the toes. And then coming up with the torso, find a cross-legged position if that's accessible to you. Let's take a couple of twists to end the practice. Take an inhale, reach those hands up overhead. As you exhale, twist over towards the left hand side, right hand comes onto the left thigh, left hand comes behind the back. Inhaling, bring those hands back up, chest is towards center. Exhale, twist over towards the right, left hand rests on the right thigh. And eventually making your way back to center, so in a normal cross-legged seated position. Option to have the backs of the hands resting on the thighs, or feel free to flip them over if you feel like you need a little bit more grounding today. Taking a couple of breaths here to finish the practice. Take a big inhale. Exhale, sigh out through the mouth. And again, inhaling. Exhale, sigh out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you on the mat again very soon.